The next step in being successful in billing insurance is making sure that the insurance information for your patient is entered accurately. So let's go to a patient here. We'll choose Gerard. And I have just entered some of the basics for him, but we need to make sure his profile is complete in order to be successful in billing insurance. So under profile, we need to make sure that we have his name, gender, and we understand that this does not fully encompass today's very gender roles, but this is about insurance billing and an insurance claim form, and they don't accept any other options. Marital status and employment status, if you know the employer, you may put it here. It's not typically important for 90% of the situations. We'll hit save. Okay. I'm going to scroll down, and we need to make sure that the patient's address is in here. That is asked for on the claim form. So I'm just going to add the address. Okay. All right. So that is what we need under the patient profile information. Next, we'll go to the Insurance tab. Under Insurance, we currently don't have any insurance entered, but we're going to add some now. So I'm going to go here under Insurance, and I'm going to say Edit Primary Insurance, and we're going to choose the insurance company that we should be billing. So if I click on it, it's going to give me a drop down that I can just look at my list, or I could start typing. But let's say this one is Magellan. Okay. So I'm going to enter the insurance policy number here. Please remember that most insurance companies, if there are dashes in the number, you might want to leave those out, but just be as accurate as possible when entering this insurance number. There may or may not be a group number on the card. The insurance plan name, we have just typed in Magellan Payer ID, just like we had it up here. But if you have some different plans that you want to track, you could put that plan name being different. Insurance policy start date. You may not know this, but this needs to be a date that is prior to you filing your first claim on the patient. And this is because the patient's insurance may term, and they may get a new policy, and this will allow us to have a start and end date of when you should be billing a particular insurance. We can keep history here on the patient. So insurance policy end date, you don't know that yet in this case. Client's relationship to the insured, choose one. If it's the patient has the insurance, then it's self. Otherwise, it may be the spouse, the spouse, child, or other. Okay, so this is patient's relationship to the insured. They are either a spouse of the person who's insured, or they are a child of the person who is insured, or it's themselves who is insured. I'm going to choose self, and what we're going to have in here is the subscriber's name. We go ahead and make sure we get all that added, the insured's address, city, state, zip code, and insured's phone number. Okay, and the insured's gender. This may be different than the patient, remember. Okay. If they're a referring physician, please leave this defaulted to no. This is very rare that this would ever be used. It is, when we say something's rarely needed, we mean it's rarely needed. Okay, and if you have any notes about their policy you'd like to put here, you can enter that. And then we're going to click Save. Now, I didn't put some information in here, and it's warning me that it's needed, so I'll go ahead and put that in. All right. Okay. So we let you know if you've missed anything, just like we show up here. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and enter this in. Okay, so now we'll see that insurance information is entered, And now I have two green boxes. Insurance benefit information. Insurance benefit information is about you checking on that patient's policy. Now, you may or may not do that and look up policy information, but at the minimum, what I encourage you to do in this section is enter what you expect that patient's usual copay or usual amount they pay you at the time of service. So if they have a copay plan, it's going to be a number that stays rather static, like $25. Okay. If they have a situation where they have a deductible of, say, $3,000, but they haven't met it yet, you're supposed to collect your contracted rate for that insurance company until they meet their deductible. And your contracted rate is what is set forth by your contract with the insurance company. And you would enter that here under the copay or coinsurance amount as what you expect that you have to collect from this patient. It may change over time as they hit their deductible, but by entering this field, it allows us to preset in the system what the patient's expected responsibility is and not charge them for that. But if a claim comes back and says the responsibility is more, we'll then go ahead and change that on their bill. But this is a really important field to have entered. Okay, it will help you greatly. So let's just say that what they owe me is the usual contracted rate. In my state, that would be $87.11 for this particular insurance company. And these other fields are just things I can use and fill out if I want to. Okay, it's for your information, but this is the most important part of this particular area. I'm going to go ahead and click Save. Now I will see that listed here, and if I would like to change it, I can go ahead and do that by clicking View. And let's say that it came back and said that the maybe their insurance copay changed, they hit their deductible, and maybe now they only owe me $8.71 at the time of service. Okay, so this field may need to be changed as you go through the life of the patient and their insurance company. Also, there's insurance pre-authorization or pre-certification. This isn't too common anymore for most insurance companies, but if you do psych testing, you may use it. If you work with EAPs that you can send claims in electronically, then you will definitely use it. So let's pretend like this patient has a pre-authorization. And what I'm able to do here is ask if it's CPT code specific, yes or no. Many times it's not, like EAPs just give you 5 sessions. They don't care what you bill. They're just going to pay you a certain fee. Others may give you like 1 90791 and 10 90837s. You'll be able to set that up if you choose CPT code specific, but most common is the fact that that's no. If, let's say, they gave us 5 visits with this patient, and to this date, if I'm just moving into therapy appointment, maybe I've already used some of these visits, so I would list that here. But in this case, let's just say we've listed none. And what date this authorization started. A lot of times there's a start date on these authorizations. Let's say this started October 1st, and there's an end date. In other words, they only give me 3 months to see this client. So this authorization ends on this particular date, and they're going to give me an authorization number, and I'm going to put that authorization number in here. And then I can write myself some notes. If I talk to anyone specifically at that insurance company, I can write notes about that authorization here if I'd like. And then I'll click Save. And now I can see I have my pre-authorization entered. Okay. So we're now ready to bill insurance for this patient.